Hey, you guys, welcome to another episode of The Adventures of an Entrepreneur. This is a podcast that's really dedicated to talking and helping people that are deciding on starting their own company. Maybe they're an entrepreneur and they're looking to go ahead and add additional businesses. Or maybe they're working for someone and they're like, you know what, I always wanted a side business. Or I wanted to go ahead and really understand what the successes and challenges are of running my own business. A lot of people are scared to take that leap. And so we took it upon ourselves to create a podcast where we bring in top professionals, both startups, both people with experience running their own businesses. And we talk about the successes and challenges. And so I'm Bryan Felder. Welcome to the show. Bryan Felder. I run a residential real estate team here in Maryland, DC, and Virginia called TVRG Homes, where we help between 120 and 150 families a year buy, sell, invest, and rent. And so not only do I have some experience being in the business for 22 years, but the guests I bring on, they have experience as well. And so get ready. I am super excited to bring on Mimi, who is one of the best interior designers in the area, probably in the market, probably in the East Coast, probably in the world, just with her way of creativity and her thinking of how she's developed her business and how she serves. So Mimi, welcome.
Thank you, Bryan. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
You always have a great smile. You always have like good color. You always have good energy. Mimi, how did you get into interior design? Real quick, even before that, where were you born? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Oakland, California. I'm a native Californian.
Okay.
I have always been an artist. I used to sketch, paint, do all kinds of things.
I did not know that.
And I really loved it. And my mother said to me something to the effect of, you can't make a living doing that. So she said, what's the next best subject? And I actually went to school for architecture and graduated with a degree in architecture.
Did not know that either.
Worked in the field for probably 10, 12 years. Top security clearance, did the whole 9 yards. But it wasn't very fulfilling for me. Architecture is a great profession, but sometimes it moves kind of slowly and can be very cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And I was looking for something a lot more creative. So from there, I got recruited and started doing project management. So I was a project manager for CBRE.
Okay.
I worked in the industry for a while and then became a senior PM. And then from there, started saying kind of the same thing again. I like what I do. I love what I do. I feel like I'm pretty good at what I do. But I wasn't feeling that creative energy and fulfillment anymore. Again, I went back to that again. And I said, if not now, when? And so I got into interior design probably about 15 years ago.
So
Slowly. I was very slow.
So help me out. So how did you go from Oakland, California to here?
Oh, that's a long story. After I got out of college, I had a dear friend of mine. She and I were classmates in high school and at the university. And she got a job at the Mayflower Hotel.
Oh.
And she was like, girl, come on, we could be single and hang out. And I was like, yeah, we don't have to go home back to California. And so I got a job here and just stayed here for a while, got married, had a family and all that kind of stuff. And that's how I ended up in this area.
So that was how long ago?
Oh my gosh. Oof. I got up here in 1987.
So this is home. This is
pretty much home.
You still have family in Oakland?
No, just extended family, not like anybody close, like
not immediate
people we call cousins, but they're not our cousins.
Sure. So this is really good. And Mimi, this is going to be really helpful for people. So
sure.
You had this drive. You were like, oh, I'm getting this experience, architect. Then you went into PM, project management.
Yes.
Commercial project management.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Then you really you started feeling the unfulfillment where you're not getting that I'm doing it, I'm good, I like it, I can do it in my sleep, but I'm just not feeling it doesn't invigorate me. It doesn't give me the energy. Mm-hmm. And so what was the turning point for you to say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave this and I'm going to launch this? What triggered that? There had to be a trigger.
I think the trigger was I wasn't getting any younger like any of us. And I decided that after I'd seen a couple different HGTV shows and really realized that profession can actually pay bills, I slowly entered the market, but I didn't jump in. Okay. I worked for a pretty well-known interior designer in Vienna, Virginia.
Okay.
And I worked with her for a while, and then I sort of parcel out my time between furniture showrooms and really immersing myself in the industry. I think that's super important because being artistic is one thing, but understanding the profession is completely different.
Well, and being all in, you wanted to go ahead and get the technical skills, which you already had the experience and the know-how, but getting additional technical so you could literally deliver the best of the best solution, best products to your clients.
Yes.
It was interesting because yesterday we had a networking event that we both attended. Mm-hmm. And as I'm walking out, I see Mimi in the parking lot laying stuff on the ground. I was like, I thought she broke down. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what is happening here? And then I literally thought you were making sushi. I was like, what is she doing? Because we both love sushi. I was like, what is she doing? She's going to like cut up some fish, like she's playing all this stuff. And I was like, what are you doing? And you're like, tell everybody what you were doing.
So I'm working on a commercial project, one of the bigger ones we will be involved in.
So
and
awesome.
The carpet tiles are big, so I couldn't really see them well enough. And I wanted that natural light, so I laid them down on the asphalt in a parking lot so that I can make sure that I saw, exactly the lines and the texture and all of that is important to me. I wanted to make sure it was the right fit for the client.
Well, and I think it's really important too because you had artificial light inside. You were like, let me get some natural light and see what that does and what that layout looks like.
Yes.
A lot of people don't think like that, right? And even if you're running your business, there's so many things that are involved in running a business.
Yes.
You gotta worry about finances. You gotta worry about like operations. You gotta worry about employees. You gotta worry about like who's the next client, like prospecting, just anything dealing with the business. And yet you were like, I'm gonna put all my time and effort and do everything I can to make sure I'm putting out the best product, the best solution.
Yes.
If you were gonna say one of the biggest challenges you have, what's a challenge for you?
I really think the main challenge for us now as we grow our business and scale is to really just get our name out there and sort of showcase to the market that we're capable of more than just putting furniture in a room and picking wallpaper, that we have, my background allows me to have architectural understanding of maybe we need a louvered wall. One of the projects we worked on in Bowie, Maryland was the way that the builder built the home was you literally walk out from the powder room into the family room. So everybody could see everything that was, back and forth.
Yeah.
And so we decided to come up with a louvered wall where we literally took some 2x4s, stained them, put them at an angle. Now you see people coming out, but you don't get the whole essence of what they're doing. It's sort of like a filter to the experience of walking in and out of a powder room and into a family room.
So awesome.
Completely different.
And that's vision, right? Like
Yes.
that is, people are not thinking like that. And then hiring you as a professional and an expert, they can lean into your experience and your professionalism and be like, hey, this is what I want to accomplish. I don't know how to do it. Can you help? And then you have the creative mind. And that's one thing in business that sometimes we want to serve clients the way we want to serve them. In some cases, we just need to listen. Like you're really good at listening to what people want and then being able to solve. So like you find the pain, you solve the pain. It's something I talk about all the time in our businesses is like we all have pain at different times, at different areas, different circles within our business. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, how do you identify the pain for the client and then be the solution?
Yeah.
What do you love about the business? Like, what do you love about what you do?
I think the fondest point is when I have put together an actual presentation for the client, whether it's a 3D drawing that we do in-house or whether it's a hand sketch,
So awesome.
and they start to see the vision, but they still don't get it, Bryan, until they actually enter the room that's been completed. And then all of their senses are seeing and experiencing everything that we've changed for them. And that's the most exciting thing for me, I think.
Well, it's interesting because I saw you. So, like, when I invite people and guests to be on the show, I'm like, hey, you're going to come to a studio. People, I think, have an idea of, like, what a studio really is. But until you actually walk into the studio and you're like, this is seriously a studio. Like, this is super high end. It's super nice, super comfortable. Mm-hmm. But like you said, like, taking it from like, hey, this is a thought, a dream, a vision, and making it a reality is something that I would think you have just repeat customer satisfaction. And of course, there's those clients that sometimes are a little bit harder to make happy all the time. We all have those. But I think the key is when you can see something come to fruition from concept to construction or design or to the management or to the really the installation, and then you see the finished product. And
Absolutely.
I think that's super cool. I think when it comes down to it, like if you were going to say, hey, if someone was thinking about getting into business, what would be some advice? Because for you, you had different experiences. Then you were like, okay, I'm going to shadow someone because I want to pursue my passion.
Yes.
How did you know it was time to leave that Vienna interior design and say, okay, I'm doing this on my own? Like there was something that happened that you said, okay, now it's time. And what would that be? Because I think a lot of people, me struggle with, I'm working for someone, I'm working this job, I'm doing this. I'm not happy, but it pays the bills. It's okay. It's not exactly what I want. I'm not pursuing my dreams, but I'd love to be able to start my own business, but I just don't know how. Like, how did you know to break off from that Vienna interior designer?
I would say I was leaving the interior design profession part-time and decided to go full-time and be an entrepreneur. And if I had to do it again, and in the frame of work of the question that you're asking me, I would say I would make my actual job my business partner. And
Ooh,
I'm not
say this again.
I would make my job my business partner. And I'm not the first to say it. I wish I could remember the gentleman that I heard say it. And the premise behind that is that stay on your job and continue to work on your job, but use your job as your business partner to grow your business outside of your job, if that makes sense. So stack your money away, take some money, take your vacations and go to seminars, try to find a mentor so you don't have the stress of not having the capital that you need to get started. And you don't feel so uneasy when you're starting because you've got a backup plan because you still have your job. And when your business revenue is reflective of how much you make at your job, that's when you know you can soar and you can fly.
Oh, that is gold right there. I mean, that right there. And I think it is interesting because a lot of people that I've noticed in the past is when people make that leap, maybe it's not even in the same industry, maybe it's not in the same field, maybe it's similar skills or experience, but they leave and they're starting from ground zero.
Yeah.
They have not built a base.
Yeah.
They have zero capital or maybe very little. Maybe it's their life savings.
Yeah.
And they're going to pump into something. Maybe it's just something where they're like, I'm going to figure this out. But
Yes.
I think having some kind of plan
Yes.
is really important.
Absolutely.
And I think, like you said, I never thought about that, but if I was working for someone and I wanted to go and do and run my own business, leverage the time off, vacation, and go to seminars, go shadow someone, go to trade shows, go to associations.
Absolutely.
Like whatever you could do is huge.
Yes.
Mimi, if you were gonna say how big or how like what is a wow for your business, like for the design studio for you, like 5 years from now, what does Thereron look like? What does your interior design firm look like in 5 years?
In 5 years, we want to scale and grow that we have at least 4 employees.
Love.
Because we want to be able to service the market in different facets. So, for instance, some of the services that we render would be obviously interior design, both in residential and in commercial.
That's great.
In addition to that, we offer project management services. So let's say, for instance, you just decided that you wanted to update your home and you've got a contractor, but you feel like you need that liaison between the two, between yourself and the contractor. So we come in and we help to manage all the expectations and approve invoices before they're paid and make sure that we're on task and on target with where they say they are in the project. Even if you need us to do some preliminary work in your due diligence and you've decided that you want us to review the contract before you sign, we can do that. Because a lot of times, once you sign that contract, that's a legal binding document.
Yes, it is.
There's no going back. Anything from that point going forward is going to be a change order. And so we would try to be proactive in being that liaison between you and the actual general contractor. So that's another service I don't think people know that we offer. And then the other interior design, project management, and procurement. We're going to order the things for you. Sit back and relax. If something comes damaged, we're going to make sure it gets replaced. all those things tie into what we do as a full service interior design company.
That's great.
And in addition to that, the fourth part of that is that we just released, we really re-released a new line of product that I've designed, and that is called Modern Muse.
Okay.
And I've actually created a pattern that we sell on Spoonflower, which is a website. They take our pattern and then they make it into multiple home decor products. So for instance, you can get my pattern in wallpaper.
Okay.
You can get my
I don't know
pattern on a
anything about
pillow.
this.
You can get my pattern on bed set. You can get my pattern on linen napkins. All kinds of different things you can do once that pattern's been uploaded. And so that's another thing we're excited about. And that's sort of where we are in the world of design and what we're scaling our business to become.
You know, it's interesting you talk about this, and I think that's really important as well. As an entrepreneur, be really good at one thing, but don't be afraid to grow and add on and be able to offer additional services, solutions, products.
Yes.
Like, I think you serve, you know, for you, you can work with one client and be able to offer multiple services and solutions, where if I'm just one type of business, like a realtor, I'm only selling homes. I'm only helping someone buy. For you, you can help someone design, you can help someone manage, you can help someone procure, you can help someone really like take decor that they're having a hard time and like really implement your own decor that you customize, or you do all of it from soup to nuts.
Yes.
And I think that is a unique selling proposition, or a USP, that out in the market, when you launch your own business, you need to have a unique selling proposition or something that makes you different. Like for me, I have a cookie machine in my office. We bake 484 cookies a month, right? And
Yeah.
so like every time I bring cookies to someone, they're like, what is this? And it leaves such a lingering, lasting impression
It does.
that people are just, you're top of mind.
Yeah.
Services that we offer and how we help people, like we stage every home, right?
Yeah.
If we're with clients and they have questions about like, hey, do you know someone that does this? Painting, plumbing, roofing.
Yeah.
We're so connected in our communities that we have an extensive network of home service providers. And so I think for you, you've done such a good job of like, I can offer multiple services. I can offer an end-to-end solution.
Yes.
Like, Mimi, super impressed, which is crazy.
Thank you.
So what do you do for fun? What's fun?
Well, hasn't been much fun lately, but I am planning to do some traveling. I feel like travel really sort of opens up and expands for me my concept of life and design and opportunities, and just seeing different cultures. I think is so inspirational. Wow. So that's my goal this year, is to do some traveling.
Where would you go?
Hopefully abroad. I'd love to go to Greece.
I've always wanted to go to Greece.
I'd love to go to Greece.
Have you ever had a gyro?
Yes, of course.
Some people call it a gyro.
Yes, I know.
Is it euro or is it gyro?
I think it's actually euro.
Is it?
I think. Don't quote me.
Every time I hear euro, I think of euro, which
Right,
is the
right,
currency.
the currency.
So I'm like, why are they talking about euro when
Yeah.
it's euro or
Yeah.
like gyro?
Yeah.
Greek food, I'm telling you right now, Mimi,
Delicious.
I love sushi. I've been talking about food all day. I do not know what's going
What's
on.
going
Like,
on?
I'm like, what's
Did you have
going
lunch?
on? What's going Like, why am I talking about food? I've been talking about food since 9 a.m.
Yes.
Greece. Why Greece? Out of every place, you go Ireland, you go London, you go Spain. Why Greece?
I've seen some videos of Greece recently,
That's great.
and it just looks so beautiful and inviting. Of course, it's coastal. It's a coastal city.
Yeah.
So you're always going to have great fish and seafood. It seems really relaxed. It looks really chilled.
Well, one thing I know about you, you are a grinder. You will work and work and work, and like, you are not afraid of hard work. And I think it's so refreshing to hear, like, as much as you are willing to grind, you're also like, I need to also take breaks.
Yes.
I need also time to recover. I need
Yes.
also time to refresh.
Yes.
And so like on your bucket list, going to Greece just gives you an opportunity to like disconnect, almost get creative, because you're going to see all kinds of like design and styles and all kinds of stuff.
Can't wait.
So you can actually go to disconnect and actually be empowered to come back with new, fresh ideas.
Fresh ideas.
And like new design concepts. And new, so like, yeah, I could see where that is. Travel could be something very, very valuable.
Yes.
Both from a personal disconnect, but also from your business where it also gives you and inspires you and gives you new ideas and new opportunities.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
really. What's your service area? Where do you go? Like, where do you serve clients? Only in Virginia?
No.
Oh.
So we have clients in Bowie, Maryland, Upper Marlboro. So we work in the Maryland area.
Okay.
We don't have a lot of clients in DC, although we do have some.
Okay.
We seem to be more heavily saturated, not only in Northern Virginia, but more in Maryland than we are in DC.
But you will serve clients in Maryland, DC, and Virginia.
Oh, absolutely.
For
absolutely.
sure.
If
So
they come calling, we will answer.
You're like, we are going to call. Which is, you're
Yes,
like, I am coming
absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely.
I was going to ask you, like, you have done such a good job of like positioning yourself in the market with street credibility. How did you build this street credibility as you were building your practice? Because I think that's the other thing, and I hear it over and over from different business owners. I hear from people that either have been in the business for a while, that either their brand got a little stale, or they're still new in the business, 3 to 5 years young, and they're trying to like really enhance their brand. How have you been able to go ahead and really push your brand? Or when you've trained me so much that if someone does mention interior design, and now I got to think project management, I got to think some of these other things like procurement, but you've done such a good job. Like when interior design has come up, I do think of you, and you've done such a good job of ingraining that. How can you help our listeners know, hey, this is how you build your brand. This is what I did. This is how I did it. What would you say to them?
I say, first of all, you have to love, well, you should love what you do. Even if what you're doing is an ends to a mean, right? So let's say your goal is to retire your mom early, or, and you're passionate about that, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get to that point where your business is serving the public. That is also zeal. I have a lot of zeal. I have a lot of passion. I'm also very detail oriented, and I also like to be around people of like mind. So I've built a team over time, and I try to partner with people that have the same culture or very similar cultures, because I think it's very important that when I'm not there, they show up for my clients.
Sure.
And I have a team behind me. I don't do all of this by myself, Bryan. This is a team effort. We've got all kinds of people just like you who really make our business stand out, and I hold them to a different standard than maybe some other people do. So in the market, probably my street cred comes from Mimi is not for foolishness. If you tell me you're going to be somewhere, I need you to be there, and if you're not, I need to know in advance, even if it's an emergency.
I love that you talk about yourself in third person.
Like
that to me. So there's a Seinfeld. Do you know Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Some people have never heard of Seinfeld, but there's a Seinfeld with George Costanza. It's like George likes pie. George likes, and George is the one talking, and finally Jerry's like, "Are you talking to yourself in third person?"
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone talk about themselves in
I
third
do
person.
that all the time. I don't know why.
I may start doing it. Brian's happy. Brian's hungry. Brian's gonna do. I may start. My wife may not like it. She'll be like, "Who are you talking to?" The other thing, you use the word zeal. Yeah. I have not heard the word zeal in so long. Super impressive.
Yeah.
You are so creative that you come up with words that just ignite and like come alive. Like even your persona, Mimi, is just so like you just want to hang out with Mimi.
Oh, cool.
Like now I'm talking about you in third person. Like you want to hang out with Mimi. Like I think it'd be really cool, and I think if anything, you've done such a good job. Like you can put together your portfolio, so when you have something to show, you can demonstrate the level of service and experience and expertise.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. You also show your creativity.
Yes.
And I think that's something important as an entrepreneur. We have to be creative enough to be able to differentiate ourselves in the market.
Yes.
Because I guarantee there's more than one interior designer, correct?
Oh,
It's
there's a
saturated.
few.
Yeah. Just like realtors, we got to find out how and what makes us different, whether it's through our product or service. What are those things that we can do, that we lean into, that helps us create a differentiator or even disrupt the market? And I feel like you bring so much energy. A lot of people try and create some image. You are who you are, and the things that you do and your professionalism speaks for itself. And I think that's what I've learned the most about you and why I fell in love with you, because I think you bring such a breath of fresh air.
Oh, thank thank you.
And your creativity, like I've never seen you, not that it's bad, but I've never seen you not dress right. I've never seen you not come with a smile on your face. I've never seen you come and be like, I'm not into it. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
So your energy is contagious. And I think it also impacts the people you're around.
Yeah.
And then it gets to being that leaving lasting impression.
Yeah.
That then when people hear interior design, when they hear project management, when they hear that stuff, they automatically will think of you.
Yeah.
I think you've done that either intentionally or unintentionally, but it's really been super impressive.
Well, thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
If you were going to go ahead and if you were going to say, okay, I want to travel and I'm going to go to Greece, how do you balance clients? Like, where do most of your clients come from? Are they from referrals?
Referrals.
Online
Probably
leads?
now it wasn't always like that. But now we're probably at about 60 to 70% come from referrals.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not from necessarily another client, which we're working to scale. Sometimes it's from a vendor, like a supplier. They will send people our way, or another general contractor will send people our way.
So that is something that's a nugget right there, Mimi. A lot of people, like in my profession, we work with different professionals and we just hire them to take care of our client's need.
Yeah.
But we don't ask those partners or those professionals for referrals, or we don't make it clear that we are open for business. So a nugget is if you have other providers or services or partners or vendors that you're working with, you should absolutely let them know that you're open for business. And maybe that is a big nugget because that is something I've been very instrumental and intentional with in my own business.
Yeah.
My home inspector will refer business, right? My mortgage lender will refer me clients. Like my title company will refer. So like you are right. When you're working your business, don't just lean into your ancillary services or your partners or vendors just for their services. Ask them for the business, letting them know that you're open.
Absolutely crucial.
I think that is huge.
And networking.
Networking
is crucial.
You know, it's funny. A lot of people are fearful of networking. They don't want to get in front of other people. They don't want to like look like they're being too pushy. But I think if you come off authentic, you believe in what you're selling or what your business is all about and how you serve, you don't have to be nervous because it just exudes the confidence of your product, your service, your solution.
Yeah.
In closing, I was going to ask you, Miss Mimi, what would you say for someone who's thinking about launching their first business or maybe launching multiple businesses? Maybe they're stuck in their job and they're like just afraid to take that leap. Like, what would you say to someone about how do I get to the next step? What does that look like? What advice would you give?
I think one of the best things you can do is find a mentor that's in that field. That is like super important because on the surface, people think, oh my gosh, interior design, this sounds like so much fun. It's a lot of work outside of just picking pretty products and nice tactiles and furniture and lighting and all that. It's a lot more behind the scenes. So I would advise that first, that you should try to find yourself a mentor, study, read, immerse yourself in whatever you're planning to launch.
Awesome.
And understand that it does not happen overnight. Rome was not built in a day.
That is the amount of nuggets. I'm thinking of like chicken nuggets right now. And I don't know if it's because I'm hungry, but like, have you ever had Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets?
Yes.
Like that, I'm not a big Chick-fil-A fan, but like you just dropped so many nuggets, like I'm craving honey mustard. Like it's so ridiculous. I do not know what's going on with me. Like I've been thinking about food all day. Like what is happening? But Mimi, you're amazing. How do people get in touch with you? If they wanted to reach out, how would they reach you?
Now I'm gonna do it phonetically because my website is a little tricky because our business name is tricky.
Yeah.
So phonetically it's spelled TheReron.com. That's our website. You can find us there. We're also on IG. So we're Thereron. It's pronounced Theron Interiors. And we're also on Facebook. We have a YouTube page, but it's not quite where we want it to be. But mainly that's it. And then, of course, you know, our number is 703-477-2264. So please feel free to reach out to us. That's our business number. So you can text us. You can call us. We'll get back to you if we're busy. We promise we're not ignoring you. And that's going to be the best means to get in touch with us.
I love it.
Theron.com.
You are awesome. Thank you so
you.
much for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Bryan.
I'm going to go get something to eat. I'm
Please.
just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Get your sushi.
You are awesome. Mimi, thank you.
Thank you.